taxpayers, you're back with MrTaxes.ca with special guests and our special co-host. Make sure and tune in weekly Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Central. Remember to subscribe and remember to smash, bash, and kick it in the you-know-what with that like button if you want more videos like this. There we go, and I believe we are live. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning.
Yeah, just to ruin the evergreen effect, we are in the morning here on the Pacific Coast in Canada. We're shooting here out of Vancouver. Jesse is in parts unknown, down below the 44th parallel, warmer climate.
Down in Mexico.
And Deborah, where are you hailing from?
I'm in Kelowna.
Amazing country there.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
Here we are. We are on week number 3 of the Dollar Tax Club affiliate webinar series for 2022. Number 3 of 52. So we're going to be bringing these to you every Wednesday, 9 a.m. So we are the side hustle for your side hustle. If you're an affiliate, you know what side hustle is. But we don't want to cut into your main hustle. But everybody who gets involved in an affiliate program has one main issue or one main hook, is that you can save tax from, getting into the online marketing world, social media marketing, affiliate marketing. But a lot of people in these industries have trouble articulating that. So we put the two together and partnered up with Jesse from Next Level Marketing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I love these webinars. I think that there's a lot of value, and I love getting to meet all of the speakers that come through here, learning and picking their brains a little bit. So yeah, super excited for today.
And Deborah, what brings you on today other than the invite? We'll let the listeners know why we invited you, why we believe you're going to be able to add value to the affiliate marketing community. And then people will have an offer from you towards the end of the webinar, but they got to stick around. International rules. You got to be in it to win it. You got to stick around to the end of the webinar to look at the great offer that you put together for everybody.
I'm excited to be here. First of all, love you guys and want to be able to share great value. I mean, that's been my whole philosophy of life. Whatever I learn, I want to share and I want to give. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, my old boxing coach told me once, he said, it's always better to give than to receive. Every Christmas he'd tell us that joke, and never gets old. So our agenda every week, we're going to talk to you about what you're going to learn. That's going to be the preempt here. Then intro to Jesse and myself. And then, of course, we're going to hear all about Deborah and then her presentation today. We always get started with a little tax tip because we are first and foremost a tax company, but we've integrated what we're doing into the affiliate marketing world with the Dollar Tax Club. So DOLLARTAXCLUB.ca is the link. And then, we dive right into Deborah's presentation. She's got quite a few slides, and I know that there's some great value. We got a sneak peek at them. And again, if you're just tuning in or you have to leave the webinar, you do get the replay. But international rules, that offer is only going to last until the end of today. So not to ruin the evergreen feeling, but if you're watching this on the replay, you can still reach out, but you're not going to get the same deal. So act now. Operator standing by. Okay, what is your financial independence number? So the tip of the week, tax tip of the week, is to find out your financial independence number. If you don't know how to calculate it, reach out to us for that free review included in your membership at the Dollar Tax Club. That's the number that you can bank on to be able to retire, to be able to actually leave your job, to control your life. We use $1 million as a starting point, so it can go down and up from there. But if you had $1 million in the bank today and you were able to get 6%, which is the average over the past 60 years, that would give you $60,000 a year tax-free income. So the question is, how close are you to saving up that $1 million yet? And we'll help you calculate that. It's not always $1 million because people have equity in their homes. You have pension plans in Canada and the US. There's savings as well, equity, stock, bonds. So we take all this into consideration. We help you calculate your financial independence number so you can actually put it up on the wall and look at that retirement date. Jesse's only got 4 years left.
So if I play my cards right, it'll be less.
At the rate you're going, it'll be pretty soon. You'll be able to make, have the choice. So a little bit about us, and then we'll hear all about Jesse, and then of course our special guest Deborah. Our trademark's backdated to 1984, so that's right out of high school. If you want to do the math, I left high school at 17. I left in grade 11 because I was in the 10% of my class. I was able to leave high school early, but I was in the 10% that made the top 90% possible. That was my claim to fame. I went into the trades, but had a serious injury in 1996. So I had to get back into doing office work, and bookkeeping was a natural choice, and just progress from there. At one point, we had 42 offices. We sold out in 2015, and now we're officially franchising across Canada and looking to move into the US with the right partner. So if anybody knows a great accounting firm in the US that's looking to expand with a great brand, just let us know. That's about it for us. I cover something a little different every week. And Jesse, I'll let you rattle off your accolade.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So, I mean, I've been in the space, online, offline entrepreneur since 2016, been, digital marketing, training people, affiliates, how to brand themselves and build their brand and make more sales and generate more revenue. I've been number one in sales for 3 different global companies, built and led teams of thousands of people through my career. I've put together many different courses and training materials. I do a lot of coaching and consulting. It's kind of my new gig now is helping people just one-on-one style. Co-founder of Next Level Vision, which is my newest company, my latest venture. You can find us at nextlevelcommunity.com and XTLVL. Skip the E and skip all the E's, I guess. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Check it out. See if anything resonates. We're all about providing value and helping people grow their vision into reality. And that's me.
Love it.
Thank you.
I got to remember to turn the microphone back on. Thanks, Jess. Jess is our technical support here as well. He has to message me every now and then. Turn your microphone back on. What got you, Jesse, into affiliate marketing and eventually got you to the point where you can take off for 6 months a year?
You know what really ultimately got me into it? I come from the oil and gas industry in Alberta, Canada originally. That's where I started my career right out of high school. I was just working away and realizing that I wasn't getting any further ahead. After doing 9 years in the oil and gas industry, I just realized like I'm no further ahead today than the day I left high school. I have to do something different. And I looked at all of my coworkers and my peers that I was working with, and a lot of them were older than me. And I just looked at that and I was like, that's my future. If I continue down this path, that's my future. I'm just going to be complaining about life, not going to get any further ahead, and I'm not going to enjoy the rest of my life. So I got to do something different because, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So that's what drove me into doing online business. I found a couple of mentors that showed me the ropes. They taught me everything that, they knew at the time. And I just started implementing, and I went to work and I put together a vision and started working towards it. And before I knew it, I was able to retire from my oil field career. And now I've just been, traveling the world, and I've got 2 kids and a wife. We like to be rooted down, but, we had an opportunity come up where we were able to come to Mexico for this winter. So we jumped on it because we could, and that's that.
Awesome. I know that affiliate marketing, social media marketing, working in the online space allows people to travel, but Jesse's a living example. How long have you been down in Mexico now?
We got here end of October. It's now middle of January. We're coming back in the end of February. We're ready to be back in Canada for a bit.
A little bit premature, but because of everything that's going on in the world, I know you're coming back a bit early, but 6 months is your usual time frame to travel.
Yeah, give or take. I mean, when all you need is the internet and a computer to work, it makes life pretty easy to just up and go.
Awesome. So yeah, I had to wear my shirt and tie today. I took the jacket off because it's a little warm in the office, but we have a special guest, Deborah Reynolds. We met way back in the live networking events in Surrey, BC, before you moved up to Kelowna. So just a little bit about your background. What got you into image consulting?
It was a choice after a conversation with my father. I was actually working a government job. I was an immigration investigator, and my dad paid me a visit on Valentine's Day and said, you need to start a business of your own to have something else to fall back on. So then I had to figure out what is it that I wanted to do. And the untapped skill was in the art realm. So I chose to become a makeup artist, which led to image consulting and then to speaking and training. But mindset was always a huge part of that. Kind of like Maxwell Maltz on his book, Psycho-Cybernetics. After he did his plastic surgery on people, he realized that people still felt ugly when they looked in the mirror. And it really, it's not about just the physical appearance. It's also about what's going on right between the ears, right here.
Excellent. And what prompted your move up to Kelowna? I mean, it's a beautiful country up there. We had snow here a little bit in the lower mainland this year, but I grew up in Ontario, so the snow is something that we grew up in. What prompted you to leave the big city and go up to Kelowna?
Retirement for my husband, a true 4 seasons and a quieter lifestyle. I love it up here. It's just really beautiful.
And cost of living?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's probably not a whole lot different, but it's just overall, it's a super quiet area to tangibly feel the difference.
Yeah, we have a client who's a realtor, and his niche market is moving people from the big city up to Kelowna. If anybody wants to reach out, we'll put his information. I'll grab his link and put it in the chat area. But he comes down to Vancouver and runs a few seminars and helps people transition from big city life up to Kelowna.
We'd love it up here. Wine country, by the way.
Yes, that's the time of day. So, Deborah, give us a little bit of intro about what listeners are going to hear about. The reason why we asked you to come on is because affiliate marketers, have a perception of how easy it's going to be just to get online and run your business. And then, reality sets in, and, the second week, the first month, the fourth month, the first year, and you're not making $1 million. What do they have to do to transition?
A lot of it is expectations, for sure. And I mean, really, we're going to cover the top 3 reasons why serious change requires mastering mental fitness. So in business, it's all about change and how you have to be able to navigate that very specifically. So are we ready to rock and roll and get right into it?
Yeah, I'm going to get your slides up. So grab your notepads, grab your paper. Jesse and I will just close our windows. We'll give you the floor, Deborah, and we may chime in from time to time, but it's going to be about a half hour. And, enjoy, get some value out of it. And thanks a million for coming on, Deborah.
My pleasure. So yes, grab your pens and paper. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for being here. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to be with Robert, with Jesse, with myself. But this is all about you so that you can get very specific value out of this. So here's what we're going to be covering: knowing what elements interfere in business success, knowing what essential business elements are necessary for success, the top 3 reasons why serious change requires mastering mental fitness. And we're going to start with number 3 and then go 2 and then go 1. And then knowing how to prioritize, where to focus first, when to implement certain business strategies, and then knowing how to recognize when it is time to ask for help to get unstuck and to actually grow your business. So here's the thing. People get into business. If they're brand new into business, this is the expectation. They think you're going to start out and it's going to be clean sailing all the way up. And I have to tell you, it's not going to be about that. This is essentially what's going to happen. It is going to be a lot of steep growth, and then it's going to be a lot of deep dive, steep growth and deep dive. And the best part of this is we get to learn from our mistakes in the process. But this is the difficult part that people have trouble navigating with. So this is ultimately what could happen in business. And a lot of people have their heads buried in their hands, banging their head against the table going, what went wrong? Why are things not working? And sometimes with the luck of the draw, things go really well. But sometimes this is essentially what can happen. People are filing for bankruptcy. In fact, a recent client of mine, actually, before she became a client, we were talking, she had the papers in hand to sign the bankruptcy. And I said, don't do it. Give me 3 months and we'll turn your business around. And that's the really sad part, is that we get into this mindset that we actually can't think we can turn things around. And that is not true. You're far more creative, and you have this ability to tap into something that is quite extraordinary. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that. So essentially, we have 2 constant changes in business. And this part is really important for you to understand. Is number 1, things are always going to change. If you think that they're going to be the same, I'm here to tell you they're not going to be the same. Things will constantly change. And what we guarantee is there's always going to be challenges ahead in the business. You actually have to be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally capable of navigating the change and navigating the challenges that are ahead. And when you become super capable with that, this is the possibility, is that you're going to move away from the masses that are struggling, and you're going to take this huge leap of faith, and you're going to be able to push forward and to create a lot of extraordinary things for yourself and your business, and ultimately for your clients. So what happens is that business requires that we put a lot of high effort into the process. And it requires, again, I was saying a lot of mental energy, a lot of physical energy. And if you're not taking care of yourself as the business owner, navigating through the business, and you're not supporting your team, if you have team, you're going to be running into a lot of problems. So this is essentially a really important process moving you forward in the business. So let's talk a little bit more about what's going to happen when, we want to move the business forward in a really positive direction. So it is hard, I want you to understand, to put all the puzzle pieces together in running a business. There are many things to navigate, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and we don't actually know what pieces are missing, and we don't know how to put them all together again. Because in business, essentially, you're wearing many different hats all at the same time, completely different from a job. I was watching a video just the other day that says, hey, I left my job because it was 9 to 5 and I didn't want that grind, but now I got a 24/7, 365 business that I'm running. And I think people lose sight of the fact of how much effort is involved in growing a business. In fact, for myself, because I've been in business for over 31 years, I can tell you the first 10 years of the business, I never took a designated day off. And that was one of my bigger mistakes that I learned from. So look, sometimes we can figure it out and sometimes we can't figure out the process. So one of the elements that's really critical to know is what is actually interfering in your business success. So I want to jump into some of those elements because that's important. The first element that I want you to consider is this question: what is slowing you down? What is standing in your way? Or what is stopping you? And that requires a lot of thought and a lot of reflection on a continual basis. This is part of the planning process of business moving you forward, because you have to be able to answer this question at any given time during the day, during the week, during the month, quarterly, yearly. You have to be able to answer the question, and you've got to be able to get the right answers to be able to move the business in the right direction. So before we jump into that, I just want to share really quickly a little bit about myself, as I'm an expert in the image realm. I've been doing that for 31 years. I have spent a lot of years speaking and training. I'm a best-selling author of 3 collaborative books. I'm a business consultant and coach, and I'm here to serve you and to give you some great value today. So this is where I grew up, in the Vancouver area, and love the city, love the home. I'm a true British Columbian. My early years growing up in school, if you can recognize this is actually the beach in White Rock, which is just across the border from Blaine, Washington. We had a beautiful home there for 36 years. I am currently living in the beautiful Okanagan area in Kelowna, overlooking Lake Okanagan, and this has really been an awesome move for us because we've been here for 15 months now. And this is my love of my life. I've been happily married to my husband, Ken, and we've been together for over 30 years now. So I did spend a lot of time in my business at the airport. This is actually an aerial shot of Vancouver Airport. I spent about 6-7 years traveling extensively through North America, delivering workshops and seminars and keynote trainings and working with different companies and organizations. This created a lot of problems and a lot of angst for me because it was exhausting. I was gone 2 weeks out of every month. It got to the point where I was actually crying every time I got on the plane. I didn't want to go because it was really physically exhausting, but it helped me to navigate this world of business. And I learned a lot through this process about how to manage my own stress levels, how to learn to really focus, because you can't leave something in a seminar room. If you're flying off to your next city, you can't go back and get it. So you have to be laser focused and very organized when you structure a business that's like this, which is constant travel. So the 3 collaborative books, Wake Up, Live the Life You Love, Living in Clarity, was the first one by Dr. Wayne Dyer, Anthony Robbins, and Alex Mendosian. And the second collaborative book was Inspired Style for Women, focusing for women to be more visible and promotion, helping them with, I specifically help people with reputation management and sabotage, the areas that they sabotage, self-sabotage as well as sabotage with other people. The third collaborative book came after I finished traveling on the road extensively, The Silver Lining of Cancer. This was a pivotal point in my life because I ended up getting chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is the slowest growing cancer. The prognosis is 15 to 30 years. I'm 10 years in. I've never had treatment. My immune system is high and I feel well and energized. And that's because I've taken really good care of myself and structured the business the way it should be structured. So I want you to ask, what do you think could be slowing you down, standing in your way, or stopping you from having what it is that you want? And let's jump into some of those elements. Number one is the fear component. There are many fears that stop us from moving forward. It could be, hey, I just want to avoid it. I just don't want to look at it. I want to procrastinate and put things off. This is a big element of just kind of sitting there going, I just don't feel like doing anything today. And those are some of the things that we have to overcome. And that is part of mastering your mind in the process. And then there's things that we don't know. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to do it. We're not sure what the next step is going to be. And it creates a lot of confusion for us. That creates a lot of stress and overwhelm. And that's what stops a lot of business owners from navigating and moving forward successfully in their business. We also doubt ourselves, or we believe we don't have that same belief in ourselves. We doubt that we have, the strength or the capabilities to move in a certain direction, and that something, whatever it is that we're implementing, is not actually going to work. So we don't persist long enough in the process. And ultimately what happens is we end up sabotaging ourselves. And that often is a mental process, a way of thinking that stops us from moving forward and really wastes a tremendous amount of time in business. So the third reason here why serious change requires mastering mental fitness is income and high profit. Ultimately, the reason why you are in business, the first reason should be to serve. However, it really isn't a business unless you're making money and you're making profit in the business. And of course, if you got great tax advantages, you can save a lot of that money and put that away for yourself. But the business has to be generating income for sure. So you have to know what business essentials are necessary for success moving the business forward. And you got to know this is really important about business, is why am I doing this? Why are you actually in business? And a lot of people, as I said earlier, want that extraordinary lifestyle. Doesn't always happen because you end up working longer hours, but you have to know that what it is that you're offering is of great service to other people. You are changing your community and adding something of value to that community. Please don't forget that. And that is one of the things that you must be well aware of each and every day when you're in business. You have to know how you add value to the community. Basically, as a business owner, how you add value to the business itself, to the team, and then to the clients you serve and the community that you serve. And if you don't know how you're adding value, you got to get absolutely clear on this, because this is one of the key components for business success and being able to have the money flow to you. So it is important, I believe, that people's expectations are exceeded. When you are doing business with another human being, a lot of people say, look, I'm going to, meet people's expectations. But what I believe is a greater mindset is to always exceed people's expectations. Lay it out on the table, but blow them away. And, on Instagram, I'm known as the now to wow diva. It's taking people from where they are now to that wow experience where literally they're going, wow, this is awesome. And that is what I want you to experience with the relationship with your clients. I want you to always exceed their expectations, so they are wowed by what it is that you are doing. So you want to guard your reputation. You want to have sustainable development in the business and the company that you're working with. You want to have a great concept, consistent growth in the company. So you're always looking at how you can improve and how you can develop and how you can grow. You want to look at profit. You want to have an ability to serve and add value. And then you want to consider the great lifestyle. So sometimes I reverse the order of these things, not so much that guarding the reputation. I always think that is number one. But when you're starting a business, consider the lifestyle that you want to have, then build a business around that. I think that that's really important. One of the most important components of business for success means that you really have to step up your leadership skills. When I was traveling, I did a study with HR personnel for about 3 years. And what I found was 4 values were missing in the workplace environment. And those values were loyalty, commitment, integrity, which is honoring your word, and trust. Those 4 values are critical in a workplace environment. So you need to consider who you are as an individual, as a business owner. How do you want to show up? Because your leadership is going to define the company and the company culture, your values that you take into the business as you develop your personal values and turn them into business values. That is going to define the company culture and the organization and how it interacts with the community to serve the community. These things are vitally important. So I want you to become better. I love this quote by Jim Rohn, so much so that I put it on the back of my business card. Success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become. Success is not to be pursued. You don't run after it. It's not about going and chasing it. It is actually attracted by the person you become. So you become that person first, the extraordinary person, the great leader with great values, surrounding yourself with great team. The business is naturally going to come to you. Of course, there's other elements that have to come into play, which is around marketing. But in business, you have to spend a lot of time thinking about what it is that you're doing and how you're actually going to serve people. This is one of the most important elements of business growth and development. It is the use of the brain, the right side and the left side of the brain. How do we navigate that? Because the right side of the brain is the creative side. The prefrontal cortex is the executive function portion of the brain. This is where we do our creativity, our innovation, our logic, our planning, organizing. Innovation is all done in this area. Our empathy, our emotions are all in this area. But we can be stopped by the left side of the brain, further back, the limbic system part of the brain, the older part of the brain that judges, that sabotages us in an extraordinary way and sabotages our relationships with other people. So please don't underestimate that part of the brain. You have to know how to prioritize in your business, where to focus first, and when to actually implement certain business strategies. So you have to be able to use your brain to be able to focus and to be able to prioritize, to think through scenarios, big picture as well as little picture details. You have to be able to leverage that and bring on team members and leverage their strengths as well in the process, because you can't get around this. If you can't access this creative part of your brain and to think carefully and creatively and innovatively in the business, you are not going to get where you're wanting to go fast enough, and it's going to create a lot of angst for you and your team. So planning is part of this process. It's a vital part of it, and it requires the thought process, the brain, and utilizing the brain and brainstorming in a very, very creative way. So in business, it's important that you keep your eyes on the vision, on your very next step. And listen, some people have come to me and said, Deb, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do here. There's a lot going on. Overwhelm only exists in the future, doesn't exist in the very present moment. So when you have the ability to self-command your brain and stay in the present moment and focus on what just needs to be done next in the very next step, the overwhelm is going to disappear. And so is your stress level. It's going to come down. So the vision is your guiding light. The next step moves you closer to your vision. As I had said earlier, we have lots of things that we have to navigate. And in this process, there's a lot of moving pieces to the business and to your lifestyle. And a lot of this is how do you put order to it all to make it work well for you and to create that ultimate lifestyle that you want. This is a really important element of business. You got to be able to reach in, shake hands with systems, technology, processes that actually will simplify your lifestyle. That is a big key. If you don't organize yourself really well and you don't structure the business really well and give it a solid foundation, you end up having problems. So you and technology, systems, and processes, you have to become a great friend. So these things make all the difference in business. They make all the difference for your team too when you're trying to leverage the support of other people, is that they know where you're going and they know the process that you're wanting it to go by. And so how people navigate through. So they're not recreating steps over and over and over again. They actually have a process and system. It actually will condense time, but it also will reduce a significant amount of stress and overwhelm for the team in general. People will be able to collaborate better instead of having conflict in organizations. So it's important to remember that. So it is important to, of course, have your goals, to prioritize, to know what's crucial, know what's important in the business. Again, so many things to navigate in the organization. The best way that we do that is by leveraging our mind and learning to think effectively. Creative thinking, strategic thinking, critical thinking, knowing how the brain actually works is a very important step. Focusing in requires, these are the things that I'm going to be doing today, and I will do them, therefore I'm going to commit to them. That's an important process. Not overloading yourself, but knowing what you can accomplish, following through and getting it done. Again, this requires mastering the brain element. So you have to decide, you got to commit, you got to focus, and you have to succeed. And this is all about following through to get things done. You need a target audience. You need great offers when you're in business. You need to be able to understand the process of order fulfillment. So how are you actually delivering the products and services? How are they actually getting into the hands of your clients so that they can use them effectively? This is an important process. And then you need cash flow. So you need to develop a healthy money mindset. You need to watch your money in. You need to watch the money out, tracking it. And you have to remember that everything we acquire in life, everything is with and through other people. This is so critically important. You don't even shower by yourself. Somebody else created and designed the shower, the tile, the plumbing, the fixtures, even the bottles for the shampoo and the conditioner and body wash. Somebody else designed and dyed the towels and brought it to market. I think you know where I'm going with this. Everything we acquire in life is with and through other people. So the number 2 reason why serious change requires mastering mental fitness is relationship. You have to change how you're interacting with people and how you view people in your business. Everything from networking to collaboration to prospects and clients, the relationship process has to change and you have to view it in a different way. So I want you to focus on building really great relationships with people. This is so important. And when we talk about business image, we put so much emphasis on first impressions. But let me tell you, first impressions, 98% of the time we're wrong about. You actually have to have a conversation with people and get to know them to really understand, is this person of value to me and how can I be of value to this person, to understand what their needs and desires and wants are before you can ever serve them and take care of them and share with them. So it all starts with the conversation. You have to be willing to step out and have a conversation, a meaningful conversation. Be curious about people, be delighted about people and wanting to get to know them and why they are the way they are or why they have a certain lifestyle or what's important to them. Really focus on the other person. You have to care. Business is all about caring. It's the emotional part, the empathy part, about caring how you serve people, how you take care of people, and what you're bringing to market. It's the value that you're bringing. It involves the heart aspect in taking care of people and taking care of yourself and your team. So part of that process of relationship building with people is in business, you need a really good CRM system. You need to know how to track leads and prospects and clients and follow through. And you need to be able to watch and make sure you have to have a system where people are not falling through the cracks. You're still staying in touch with people. That system becomes vitally important so people don't feel forgotten. So look at these aspects here of service, support, care, trust, solution, help. All these elements become really important. Your way of thinking has to be very different in business. Business comes from, great business comes from really caring about everything, the company, the organization, flow, process, taking care of your team. When you really take care of your team, they will look after the customers for you. If it's you alone as a solo entrepreneur, when you're taking care of yourself, you will have more energy to take care of your customers. So sometimes we get those priorities wrong. So look, in business, when you're dealing with people, there's going to be mistakes. You're going to be making mistakes with all sorts of things. It's part of the process of life. The key thing is that it is about learning from the mistakes and moving your mind whenever you're dealing with difficulties, tragedy, trauma, all sorts of scenarios where you feel in your heart and your mind you've made mistakes, moving to the point where now it is a gift and an opportunity. How do we learn from our mistakes? How do we turn it into a gift and an opportunity to serve people? So listen, when I had my diagnosis for chronic lymphocytic leukemia, the first thought process that came out of my mind when the doctor said, look, Deb, slowest growing cancer, 15 to 30 years, my mind was, great. How do I use this to serve other people? How do I use this experience to serve other people? That is a really important question that you need to ask on a regular basis whenever you're feeling that you are stuck, that you are in a difficulty, that you're faced with a major challenge or chaos, something that is incredibly overwhelming, whatever it might be, including a health issue. How do you turn it into a gift and an opportunity? That is the ultimate in shifting from a negative to a positive mindset. So you have to know how to recognize when it's time to ask for help. This is a big key. You have to recognize that within yourself. How are you struggling? What are your emotions? And if you're feeling that negative feeling, if you're feeling that you're judging yourself or other people or circumstances around you, those are signs that you actually need to ask for help. How do you know when you're struggling? I mean, that feeling inside of your body and your mind, pay attention to that, because if you're struggling, that is the time that you actually need to reach out for help. You need to say the words, and there's no shame in asking for help. You cannot do it alone. Remember, I said you can't even shower alone. All these things involve other people. So there is no shame in asking for help. That is part of the process of growing a business. You have to know when to reach out. So a big part of business growth requires that we delegate and release. And if you have this mindset of, I can do it all myself, and it's faster if I do it myself, you're missing the boat here, because delegating the things that are not as valuable for you and that are not within your genius skill set, this is going to make the difference in your business. You have to be able to delegate. So you have to learn, you have to develop yourself, you have to invest in your team, and you have to implement. All of these things require a certain mindset process. And the faster that you generate great mindset skills and you strengthen your mental muscles in the positive direction, you're going to be able to navigate these things much faster than you ever anticipated. Team is where it's at, working with other people. So the number one reason why serious change requires mastering mental fitness is self-image and your business image. Those two come hand in hand when you become a business owner. So let's look at those elements here. This is about investing in yourself, investing in your business image, which is your reputation, and how you market as well too, how you're viewed and seen, controlling that, and investing in the business itself in terms of marketing strategies, in terms of process, technology, the different products and services that you're offering, and then really leveraging your reputation and leveraging the relationships that are around you. So it is an investment, and everything requires time, and it requires money, and it requires energy, but the investment in the business is where it's at. That is what's going to define success for you. So if you don't put in the investment of time, energy, money, learning, developing, working with team, this isn't going to be your reality. You are not going to be successful in business. This is where it's at. The mind. How do you tap into the mind? Why is this so critically important? Here's what I've learned over the years of 31 years in business and working with different business owners and companies. Prioritize yourself first. You need to be first. If you have the mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional energy, you then have the ability to grow the business. If you are depleted in any of those areas, what's going to happen is you will not have the energy to put into the business. If you're excited and passionate about the business, you'll have energy to work all day. But if you are thinking to yourself, even in the thinking, the wrong thinking of, oh, I got to get up and do the work, you will not have the energy to sustain and go through the business and deal with the change and the challenges and the chaos that could be inevitably waiting for you. So this is where looking after yourself makes all the difference in the world for business growth and development. You can do it. It's absolutely possible, but there are very specific things that have to be put into place. And it is all about learning to be positive, learning to be very precise about how you do things, accurate, utilizing innovation, communication, effectiveness, creativity. This is all part of the brain. And in fact, you can actually become fearless in how you navigate business. That is all part of the brain. Move forward. Sabotage and fears are part of the left side of the brain and the older limbic system of the brain. That is what holds you back. But imagine what your life would be like and what business would be like if you were actually fearless, stepping out and being bold and creative and innovative. That would make all the difference in the world for you. Your mindset is always changing, but you have an ability to control your mind and move things forward. So your mind controls your attitude, your behavior, your actions, the results, your overall performance, and it's an never-ending cycle. But imagine if you could learn to control that, really leverage it. What if you could self-command? If you have a new mindset, you actually have new results. A lot of people think that's really not possible. It is possible. With the latest in neuroscience, we have the capabilities now to have a new mindset and to have absolutely new results and fast results in our life and in our business. So this is what we talk about, self-command, being able to recognize how we're sabotaging ourselves in terms of our mind, or when we get stressed and overwhelmed, and telling your brain, nope, you're going to do this instead. That is the beauty and the power of leveraging the right side of the brain and learning to self-command. So we have done a lot of studying and research on neuroscience over the years. There have been countless organizations and universities that have done studies. Stanford has been a leader in this area, Stanford University. So we know that through neuroscience, we can actually shift and modify how the brain actually functions and works. One of the most popular organizations out there for training has been EQ, and this is what is known as emotional intelligence. This consists of 18 core competencies, and in fact, as a trainer traveling throughout North America, this is one of the courses that I taught. It was very difficult, however, for people to remember all 18 of the core competencies and develop those. But now that we know much more about the brain and how the brain actually works and how neural pathways work, how thought moves along neural pathways, we can shift how the brain actually functions. And in fact, through MRI imaging, in 6 to 8 weeks, we can actually see a growth in gray matter, yes, an increase in gray matter on the right side and the prefrontal cortex by doing proper brain exercises. And we could see a decrease in gray matter in the older limbic system part of the brain, which is where we have fears and where we have self-sabotage. So this is pretty profound and just astounding research that we've been able to do. This research is called PQ, positive intelligence. So it actually is considered the latest in neural research. So the impact on emotional intelligence is we have a more emotional self-awareness, accurate self-assessment, self-confidence. We have emotional self-control, transparency, adaptability, achievement, initiative, optimism. We have empathy, organizational awareness, service orientation. We have the ability to develop other people. We have an ability to be inspirational leaders, to be change catalysts, to influence, to resolve conflict management, and to actually collaborate more effectively with our teams. That is extraordinary. So what happens is, imagine this, your brain is the hardware, the operating system is positive intelligence, and the applications is all of the core competencies of emotional intelligence. A little complicated, but I know that when you probably re-listen to this audio or video, you're going to be able to review and understand that. So here's what the breakthrough results have actually been. Within 6 to 8 weeks of mental fitness training, people are actually able to see the MRI imaging, as I had mentioned, increased in gray matter in the brain region part of, we call this the sage region of the brain, and decreased gray matter in the survival brain region where your saboteurs live. Other breakthrough results have been MetLife trained salespeople outsold the control group by 37%. Motorola recorded improvement productivity in 93% of the trained employees. In a UK restaurant, higher competency resulted in 34% increased profit growth. Pharmaceutical company, the average salesperson with improved competency sold over $55,000 more per month. L'Oreal, the competencies resulted in over $91,000 in increased revenue per salesperson. And CIBC, the strength of these competencies accounted for 32% of booked sales and 71% of pipeline sales. Quite extraordinary. So I want you to learn how to stay focused, because by mastering your mental fitness, you will actually be able to self-command and stay focused to get things done in the business. You'll actually be able to focus and actually implement. You will be able to leverage your time in a way that you've never done before. It'll be quite extraordinary. You will actually get considerably more done. You'll see that you'll be able to check things off on a daily basis, and it'll be way more satisfying. And that is a dopamine hit for your brain. Each check mark of accomplishing things is a dopamine hit for the brain, which makes you want to do even more. So that is a huge plus. So you'll be able to move through strategy and action and objectives. You'll be able to actually implement an action plan and get it done. That's going to make a huge difference. With your team, it's going to be quite extraordinary. You'll be able to build way better relationships with people because you're tapping into the empathy part of the brain. That makes a huge difference. This is such an important discovery through neuroscience to be able to navigate this. Well over 500,000 people have gone through this program, including top CEOs and their sales teams and leadership teams, the VP and C-suites. The results have been absolutely astounding, that it has really created a much better corporate culture and environment as well. So this is how it works. You're actually navigating through this on an app on your phone. So the PQ app actually is guided daily practice. So you carry it with you all the time. You're doing very simple 2-minute, 3-minute exercises for your brain spaced out through the day. So it easily fits into your schedule. You actually have an interactive gym, a PQ gym, which is where we do all the mental exercises. So you do daily progress tracking. Again, quite extraordinary, because all you need to do is 10 seconds of PQ rep, and you're moving from the limbic system up to the brain, to the right side part of the brain, and it's all done on self-command. You're training the brain how to navigate. You're going to be getting alerts when to take your next 2 to 3 minute challenge, and you can easily fit this between your appointments. There actually is an online journal to support you. So I'm inviting you, if you want to make an extraordinary difference in your business, you want to see your business move in this upward trajectory, you want to be able to move in a positive direction of growth so that you can serve your community way more effectively, then I'm going to invite you to be supported through this process in a very unique and innovative way. I want you to be able to work with interacting with the community moving the stranger to a visitor, to a lead, to a customer, to somebody then who is promoting you and actually a raving fan of your business. So preparation is the key. And if you want to really have an extraordinary result in your business, you got to be prepared. So that means that we take the unpreparedness away from you so that you can really leverage. So imagine being so excited that you feel like a little kid. Imagine the impact on your bank balance, on your family, on your health, and on your well-being. That is extraordinary. So I want you to join us. And I want you to include your team in mastering mental fitness with PQ. This is a huge opportunity. In the chat, you're going to find the link to this. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this program, but it is the latest in neuroscience research. It's a 6 to 8 week program. It's supported by an introductory session as well as a follow-up session. And in that 8-week period, you're going to shift your brain and develop it so that you are navigating through self-command. And it's going to be the most extraordinary experience of your life. So today only, there's a limited time offer where you save $400. That's really important. That actually goes away tomorrow. It'll be reduced. And in fact, what we're doing is, if you decide you want to do this tomorrow, it's only going to be saving $300. And if you decide on Friday, it's going to be a savings of $200. And Saturday, back to the regular price of $997. So today only. So save the date, because we start on I believe it's the 29th of January is when we're actually starting the next group. You'll get an inbox as soon as you inbox an invite, as soon as you've registered. And if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. And my promise at the very end was to give a couple giveaways here. So we're also posting a link for a few workbooks. So thank you for staying to the end. The 2 workbooks, my gifts for you, are the Ideal Goals Workbook and the Strategic Timeline Annual Plan Workbook, so that you can navigate and really well organize your year coming. So thank you.
So a lot of information there, Deborah, for our listeners to consume. A lot for one sitting, but I know they're going to be able to go back to the replay and get some value out of this.
It's one of the most extraordinary programs that people, I would say, of all the courses that I've taken, and I've taken hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of courses over 31 years. This has been the most profound course that has made the difference. If you can leverage your mind, everything else becomes easy.
Yeah, mindset is a big part of it. I know from my old athletic days, the kids don't believe me, but I was an athlete at one time. And I tell everybody I'm still in good shape. It's just pear-shaped now. But mentally, I boxed. I had 152 amateur fights, but after about the 10th fight, I started remembering actual moments in bouts. But the first 10, because your mind is not in it, you're not able to focus. Once you're able to focus, you realize that the physical part is, about 10% of it. We have to be healthy. We have to make our bodies work. But as long as we don't destroy our bodies, the mind is the biggest power we have.
Absolutely. So true.
And Jesse, I know it's hard for guys working in the affiliate world. We see these videos all over the place, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, people traveling the world like yourself. What do you do to stay focused, Jesse?
It just comes down to self-discipline, in my opinion. Self-discipline and just knowing what you want, and knowing that if you don't work towards it, you're not going to get any closer to what you actually want to create. Even though, I'm in Mexico, and it'd be very easy for me to just be like, you know what, today I'm just not going to work on my business. I still make a point of getting everything accomplished that I need to accomplish, because I treat it like a full-time job. I treat it like a brick and mortar business. And in a brick and mortar business, if nobody goes to the shop and opens the doors and turns the lights on, they're not gonna do anything that day. They're not going to make any revenue. They're not going to make any sales. They're not going to get any customers. And I just treat my business, even though it's online and it would be very easy for me to take a day off, I treat it like a brick and mortar business, where if I don't show up, I don't get the results that I want, and I don't get closer to where I want to go with my life. And then, if I do that enough times, then next year I won't be able to do something like travel to Mexico, because I'll be stuck at a real job, So that's how I stay focused, and that's how I keep on going, because I know that if I don't, then it's all going to come crashing down.
And there's lots of tools out there. This offer that Deborah has made is a great offer. We encourage our listeners to investigate, look into it. If you need more information, you can reach out to Deborah. Deborah, what's the best email?
The best email is Deborah, DEBORAH, at aboutfaceimage.com.
And that's your primary. I mean, when we met way back in the day through the networking events, and then your business was growing, the image consulting, evolving from the being a makeup artist is really where it grew from. What, maybe one tip for listeners that are going to be in the affiliate marketing online space, like Jesse and myself, getting on video, one rock solid tip that we can give people, the listeners.
Look at the camera, because that's where your clients are, right there. A lot of people look down at the screen, at the image. Like if I was looking at you, I'd be looking down here, or Jesse down here, because I have a laptop and 2 screens that are up, but the camera is up here. So if you're interacting with people, be level with your camera, eye level with that, so that you can engage with them.
I like being a little lower. I purposely put my image a little lower as a host to give our guests a little more priority, so focus on them. But I find myself, with you on, looking down, making sure my tie's on straight, being on with the image consultant. Jesse's in Mexico.
The haircut is the big thing for the guys. As long as the guys have got a great haircut, in most cases, it's looking all good.
Well, that's it. My face is up here. That's the old joke for women. But you're always presented well, and it does pop out. I saw a great meme the other day. I forget where I saw it, but it was image. 2 images of the same woman, and one of them, the clip on the left, said, day 1 of the pandemic on Zoom meetings. And she had her hair done, makeup done, everything. And then the image on the right was day 246 of Zoom meetings, and she had a tank top on and her hair was up in a bun. But you see people on, and it is a little bit of a turnoff if they're not presented properly. It depends on the industry. Of course, if somebody's on there presenting the fitness industry, yeah, they want to have a tank top showing their, the efforts of their work. But it's all about the industry as well.
And, background is really important too. This is not virtual. This is my real background. So I have some original pieces of art behind me here. I didn't paint these, but I think if you have a really nice background that's accented properly, that represents who you are. And the lily pond was me hanging out with frogs and tadpoles as a kid. I'm all about Frog of the Prince transformation.
Well, my background, all those books, that is a real background, and I did not write all those books. I won't take credit for that either. And Jesse didn't make that lampshade behind him, I don't think. But no. It's what's outside. Jesse has it to show off. Are you able to open the curtain a bit, Jesse, just to show affiliate marketers what?
It's a little bit gloomy today, but that's
nice.
Cool. That's the golf course just over the shrubs there, and that's my auntie chilling on the.
You get any stray golf balls? Do you have the kids out chasing golf balls?
No, actually, we're kind of like, it is the golf course, but on the left side is where people get their carts and everything, and that's where they get ready. And then they have to drive past here to get to hole 1. So people don't actually hit golf balls in this area, which is nice.
We grew up close to a golf course, and my brother and I did that for a while, collecting golf balls, and you can make an okay buck. I guess that's where the entrepreneurial side started for us. I'm just going to pull up our side. So any questions, Jess, for Deborah? Anything, insights into the affiliate world that we can tap her brain on while we have her on the show?
No questions specifically. I enjoyed the presentation. I took a lot of notes, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just queuing up our guests. We won't get into we got it running a little bit short on time, so I'm just going to queue up our next guest slide. Here we are. So we'll finish off with our side. So again, we're the side hustle for your side hustle, and that is affiliate marketing lingo for doing what you do best and making a buck at it. We're just an add-on. So we do have an affiliate program for those in the affiliate marketing world. If you're looking to assist your downline or your team in getting their taxes done properly so that they stay in business and stay as part of your team and don't end up in tax jail, then this is where they got to tune in every week. And again, our events are up on our website, but you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And I'll just skip to the end here. Well, I got to get this joke in because the team puts them together. She got her tax refund the other day. Now she can just decide what vending machine to spend it at. I know that's a great clip from the newspapers gone by. So next up, next week number 4 on the affiliate marketing webinar series with the Dollar Tax Club is Amber Noakes from Barter First. I believe you know Amber, Deborah, another Surrey native that is flourishing in business here, especially during the pandemic when cash isn't always readily available. You can barter your services. So tune in to next week's event next Wednesday, 9 a.m. and we'll be able to get some questions into Amber. And I believe Amber does have a great offer as well for next week. If she doesn't, we're going to hold her to one. And that's it for this week. Thanks a million, Deborah, for being on. Jesse, for tuning in all the way from Mexico. Any final words?
It was my pleasure. Loved being here. Great to connect with you guys.
Awesome.
Everyone have a fantastic day. I'm really excited for these upcoming webinars that we have. And thank you, Deborah, for today.
Okay.